Welcome to Mears In Exile. Today is Tuesday, May the 8th, and this is the market overview, looking at the Dow, SPX, VIX, TNA, UUP, FXE, GLD, SLV, XOY, XLF, Apple, Starbucks, VXX, and whatever else I'm missing. Okay, another bear victory today. Friday it was the Bulls are not finished yet. Yesterday was the Bears are not finished yet. And today is bounce time question mark. How about that? Ending today with a very pretty hammer, possible reversal signal, much larger than the one yesterday. After we got that initial bounce after the open, which was down. Which actually kind of happened again today, because that it's worse today. Wow. Breathtaking, just insanely amazing. But anyways, we have what we have. We can see the middle Bollinger Band is getting its cross. Good for the Bears. Of course, we are still down once again below the major price consensus level. Good for the Bears. We closed below the long-term moving average bar. Yep, good for Bears. And even pierced the lower price consensus level. Also good for Bears. Peaking below the previous floor. All good things for the Bears. Absolutely. So if everything is that good, then what's the point of even looking at it, right? It's just it's all over. It's done. I don't think it is quite yet. We have some indications that we are due for a bounce. Certainly there's been a large move from the top to what is currently the bottom. 14-day RSI moving average is still ticking up. We finally have the stochastics, the fast, turning around. Slow hasn't yet, sure, so it's a little bit early, but the potential exists for a turnaround of the stochastics, and we should have some positive price movement out of that. CCI is getting to the oversold line, minus 100. It hasn't dipped into it yet, so can it go down some more? Yeah. Does it mean that it's going to go down there and stick? I don't know about that. The RSI going sideways, the MACD histogram ticking down, the MACD ticking down. Yeah, these are good bearish signals, and really all that we have is the 14-day, the possible turn of the stochastics, which is early, and a nice reversal candle. It's not very much to go off of, completely honest. 60-minute time frame should give us a little more insight. Well, we're far away from the long-term moving average bar. We know that in the 60-minute time frame, you should at least attempt to kiss the long-term moving averages. We have not done so since the essentially since we've broken away from them. Yeah, it's attempting to get up there at the moment. We don't know if it's going to succeed or not. With the 14-day RSI moving average leveling out low, that's a good start. Stochastics are up, another good start. CCI up, another good start. RSI going sideways, and the MACD histogram sloping up, and the MACD going for a bullish cross in the 60-minute time frame. Notice also we have positive divergence in the MACD histogram, in the RSI, which is very slight, and in the fast stochastic it's hard to see, and in the slow stochastic hard to see, but not in the CCI. So yes, there is definite signs that that we should have a bounce. Yesterday we were talking about that we needed to have. Actually, I'm going to scroll this back so you can see what we saw yesterday. Went a little too far. And yesterday we were saying that we needed a little more time in the 60-minute time frame for certain things to reset, and that is what they did. most notably being the 14-day RSI moving average, which was still pointing down. and the MACD histogram, which needed to take care of this tick, all of which has been done. If it's going to bounce, it should be immediately. That doesn't mean that we're going to go on to new highs and all that jazz. I think that it'll be a bounce and then it's going to fail. And then the dailies have to finish working themselves off with the various indicators. So maybe a day bounce, 2-day bounce, something along those lines. That's what I would imagine. And then there should be another drop, and then we'll have a failed retest of a floor, whether it be this floor, whether it be this floor, whatever floor it is, and all bets are off if this floor is taken out. If that happens, forget it. The bulls are finished, and no bounce of any note to try to play. But anyways, that's the synopsis, and we're at the mercy of the Greeks. God help us. So anyways, if you're trying to play the positive side, pray, and if you're playing the bearish side in the intermediate time frame, you shouldn't have any problems, barring a pop up for a day or two here or there or whatever. But anyways, that's what I think. SPX. Now here's the biggest problem for the bulls. We peaked through the previous low, which is a really bad sign. Not as bad as of course, as closing down here, but that it's been pierced. Normally you have to go back and you have to retest this low and all that jazz. So puts a damper into the bounce thing, because either it goes down and gets taken out or tested immediately, or we have a slight bounce and then we still have to go back down and tag that. And the Dow's going to follow that. Everything's going to follow that. And if that's taken out, then then you have a run at this low, and then if that's taken out, and then it's game over. So anyways, very pretty hammer, possible reversal signal, short term, pierced below the lower price consensus level, pierced below the previous low, 14-day RSI moving average ticking up, still in oversold low. Stochastics, the fast is already turning up, the slow is getting pretty darn low. There should be a turn of some sort at any time now. CCI still pointing down and oversold. RSI going sideways, histogram ticking down, MACD ticking down. No sign of a reversal at this moment. Maybe if there's a bounce tomorrow, they'll both be able to reverse course. But regardless, yes, it could bounce here, and yes, there's all kinds of bearish stuff still ongoing. So risky. 60-minute time frame. Yesterday we said could be a little more down, as the 60-minute time frame needed to finish with itself. And here it is. Looks like it has. 14-day RSI moving average ticking up. Stochastics headed up. CCI heading up. RSI trying to head up, going sideways at the end of the day. Histogram going up. Notice negative divergence, or positive divergence. Positive divergence in the RSI. Positive divergence in the stochastics, not in the CCI. And starting a bullish cross on the MACD. Notice we haven't had a bullish movement in the MACD all the way since the 30th roundabout. So this, if it can hold, is actually a big thing, which it's low. It should have a pop of some note. Hopefully it'll get all the way around to the middle area of the chart and then turn over. I don't know that it can go all the way to the top. That seems reaching. But if it just whipsaws and goes back down, it's going to be very painful for the bulls, and the bears are going to be rejoicing. Wow, can't talk. CompQ, the NASDAQ, another reason why I have to be really careful. Yes, hammer, pretty, very nicely formed. It went down here and tested this low. Major support. They backed away from it very nicely. It would have been nicer if it actually closed closer to the bottom, simply because then there'd be a greater chance of the bounce. But regardless, major support, it should bounce. Beyond that, 14-day RSI moving average. Finally, a small tick up. This is the first time it's ticked up. since we've been watching it flatlined here. Stochastics are trying to turn. Fast is doing it, the slow is not yet. Down on the CCI, sideways on the RSI, down on the histogram, down on the MACD. 60-minute time frame. Does this one look like it's going to bounce like SPX? Well, up on the 14-day RSI moving average, very nice positioning for a bounce if it's going to bounce. Stochastics up, CCI up, RSI up, sideways at the end of the day, up on the MACD histogram, up on the MACD starting a bullish cross. Negative divergence, MACD histogram, negative divergence, RSI, not at CCI, negative divergence, stochastics. If it's going to bounce, it's going to bounce. VIX, VIX, all over the place. Look at that gigantic spinning top. It was it broke 20 today. We were all happy about that in the I was all happy about that in the daily running thread, because being above 20 makes the move make sense. And it backed way away. I mean, let's see here. This, it had finally got above a recent high, this high, which is a start. It's really positive. It was not able to clear this high, unfortunately, and backed away. Still above the major price consensus level. 14-day RSI moving average ticking down. Stochastics trying to turn. CCI still pointing up high. RSI going sideways. MACD still positive, ticking up. MACD histogram positive, ticking up, of course. If the stochastics are able to turn and join the 14-day RSI moving average, there should be a decent move to the downside in the VIX. That's just what it is. But we have a indecision candle, and perhaps that peaking above a previous high is going to be enough to spark more people to have interest. So it is a push-pull, absolutely. XOI, oil. Another reason for possible bounce. We had the spinning top yesterday, indecision candle. Today, nice hammer. Almost a dragonfly, but it's a hammer. And possible reversal candle. 14-day RSI moving average ticking up. Stochastics trying to turn, taking their time. Down on the CCI, down on the RSI, down on the histogram, down on the MACD, looking for a bearish cross. Yep, all kinds of stuff saying bearish, 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 and just a hint at the possibility for a bounce. But nonetheless, it's pretty darn low. It has made a new low, which is definitely bearish. It should be retested in the future. Probably not the too distant future. Hopefully it doesn't break it tomorrow. But yeah, intermediate bearish signal all by itself. At the same time, should be a potential bounce signal. Getting pretty darn close to this previous low way back here in December at 1150 roundabout. 1151. Going on to TNA. Another new low. Breaking all these previous lows. We were worried about that yesterday. Fat body spinning top. It actually did peak below it today. Not a good signal for the bulls. Good for the bears. Fat body hammer. 14-day RSI moving average ticking up. Stochastics attempting to turn. CCI down. RSI up. Very interesting. All alone by itself. MACD down. MACD histogram down. 60-minute time frame. What do we have? It recovered almost everything today. 14-day RSI moving average. Great positioning for a bounce. Stochastics on the way up. CCI on the way up. RSI on the way up. Histogram on the way up. MACD on the way up. Very, very nice. If there's going to be a bounce. And UUP. Does this one say bounce as well? Well, spinning top, right at the upper Bollinger Band, has not broken the previous highs. 14-day RSI moving average going sideways. Stochastics attempting to start a roll. CCI up, RSI up, histogram up, MACD up. It's only that CCI roll, really, and the fact that it is so just sitting on the upper Bollinger Band and not a strong candle here at a possible top. Once again, we've been talking about high, lower high, lower high, lower high area question mark. And with this candle, does that put a question mark on it? Probably. Heck, 60-minute time frame. We normally don't do that on currencies, but why not? 14-day RSI moving average holding very high and even ticking up at the end of the day. Ooh, that's in contrast to some of the other things we're looking at. Stochastics pointing down, CCI curling back up, RSI curling sideways. Down on the MACD histogram, trying to get a bearish cross on the MACD. We have lots of negative divergence in the MACD histogram. We have some negative divergence in the RSI. We have negative divergence in the stochastic. We have lots of negative divergence in the CCI. So, should the dollar pull back at this point? I would say in 60-minute time frame, definitely more likelihood of yes than no. And FXE, the euro. Aha! Another signal for possible bounce, although it's by no means wonderful. It's broken out to the downside, making a new low. Should be retested at the least. And doesn't mean it has to be tomorrow. I mean, tomorrow it could break it. But spinning top outside the lower Bollinger Band. That should move sideways or up to get back inside of it. 14-day RSI moving average, slight tick up. Stochastics very low, no sign of a roll yet. Way low on the CCI, down on the RSI, down on the histogram, down on the MACD. Overall, very, very ugly. That new low just really puts an exclamation point on it, but there are some signs that it should have a bounce. 60-minute time frame, can we confirm that it does need a bounce? Well, we can see that it has not done any kisses of the long-term moving average as of yet. To do so now would be a nice move up. Definitely would produce a bounce in the markets. And if it wanted to fail back at that time, hey, great. And what do we have? 14-day RSI moving average attempting to tick up, ending up with a down tick at the end of the day. Stochastics attempting to roll, not a good sign. CCI attempting to roll, not a good sign. RSI doing a roll, not a good sign. MACD histogram ticking up, MACD ticking up, attempting a bullish cross. We have positive divergence in the MACD histogram. We have some in the RSI, not too much. We have some in the stochastics. We have plenty in the CCI. Is that going to mean anything for tomorrow? I guess we'll see tomorrow. GLD. Oof. Also breaking down, making a new recent low. Hammer, possible reversal signal. Way outside the lower Bollinger Band. The entire candle is. It's begging for a bump up. 14-day RSI moving average. We've been talking about this little flat line dealing going on. Now it's pointing down. Stochastics sideways and down. I'll just call it mixed. Way down on the CCI, down on the RSI, down on the histogram, down on the MACD, attempting a bearish cross. Ugly. And actually that kind of makes sense because fear did not do so great today, neither did, and the dollar went up. So going down, yeah, it makes sense. SLV, very similar. New recent low, not a good sign. Hammer, possible reversal. Down on the 14-day RSI moving average. Mixed on the stochastics, down on the CCI, down on the RSI, down on the histogram, down on the MACD. Ugly, ugly, ugly. I would not touch this. XLF, the financials. Oh, look at that. Something semi-positive. Inside day, not the greatest sign. Spinning top, not the greatest sign, not the end of the world. Did not test the previous lows. 14-day RSI moving average ticking up, stochastics attempting to roll. CCI down, RSI sideways, histogram down, MACD down. Overall, definitely more bearish than bullish, but signals that there should be a bounce. 60-minute time frame, looking for confirmation of that, or at least improve the odds of trying to read that. We can see it came down. We had this previous low here at 23, and it did not kiss it. Its attempt was rebuffed. 14-day RSI moving average starting to climb. Stochastics on the way up, CCI on the way up, RSI on the way up, histogram on the way up, MACD trying for a bullish cross. Negative divergence, MACD, histogram, negative divergence, RSI, not in the stochastics, yes in the CCI. Should there be a bounce at this moment? Looks like it. Apple. Well, we got a hammer. It did at one point was lower than the rest of this move. Possible reversal. Still inside the bar. 14-day RSI moving average still ticking down. Stochastics makes CCI ticking up. RSI ticking sideways. Histogram ticking up. And MACD still ticking down. Very mixed. 60-minute. If Apple decides to rally, the market will probably go with it. Certainly the NASDAQ will. 14-day RSI moving average ticking up, stochastics up, CCI going up but going sideways at the end of the day. Down on the RSI, up on the histogram, up on the MACD. Yes, more mixed than some of the major averages, but not bad looking in the 60-minute time frame. Not bad. GE. Try to get a better read on the Dow. Yeah, look at that. Hammer exceeded the this whole little line here. Possible reversal. Staying above the major price consensus level. 14-day RSI moving average climbing. The fast stochastic trying to move with it. Slow still pointing down. CCI down. RSI up. Yeah, different. MACD down looking for a bearish cross. Very slightly down on the MACD histogram. 60-minute time frame. Are we due for a bounce? 14-day RSI moving average starting to tick up. Stochastics moving up. CCI moving up. RSI up and then sideways. Up on the MACD histogram. Negative divergence. Ever so slight negative. Positive divergence. Positive divergence. Positive divergence in the stochastics and not in the CCI. Definitely more positive than negative in the 60-minute time frame. But we're at the mercy of the Greeks. God help us. That'll be probably a little reoccurring theme. The Greeks have us. God help us. Starbucks. Making a new recent low. And it doesn't really match up with anything. Closing below the long-term moving averages. There's definitely a wobble in the short-term moving averages, middle Bollinger Band above everything. 14-day RSI moving average still ticking down, stochastic still ticking down, CCI ticking down, RSI ticking down, histogram ticking down, MACD ticking down. Terrible. The only thing going for it is a big hammer. That doesn't really have anything going for it beyond its positioning and candle for a bounce. So not lining up with what we're thinking for tomorrow. And VXX. You would think this one would be doing better. Is it a no, it's an inverse hammer, almost a gravestone, but not quite. 14-day RSI moving average ticking down, fast stochastic turning, slow still pointing up. Up on the CCI, sideways on the RSI, actually a slight downtick. Up on the MACD, up on the MACD histogram, not looking good. Just a kiss of the long-term moving averages and it folds. Been talking about, does this have enough power to fill the gap? It did fill the gap today. And we were also thinking, will it have enough power to break a recent high? Doesn't look like it at the moment. Guess it's possible. Anything's possible, right? 60-minute time frame. Does this one have more gas in the can? 14-day RSI moving average ticking down. Stochastics going with it. CCI down. RSI slightly up at the end of the day. Histogram sloping down. MACD looking for a bearish cross. Negative divergence. Negative divergence. Negative divergence. Nothing. And is there anything that I'm missing? Nope, I think that's about it. So we'll see if it bounces or if it doesn't. Huge technical damage done today, huge, making the intermediate picture definitely bearish. Hopefully the short term is bullish, and then long term, after Benny starts printing, bullish. So bullish, bearish, bullish. That's what I'm hoping for. Hopefully it'll play that way, and time will tell. As always, all investing decisions are your own. This chart and video for entertainment, educational, and consumption of time purposes only. Thank you very much.